Hey guys, it's good to see you back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, where I thought what we'll do is instead of mixing old and new, let's mix new and new. We'll put a slight bit of old in there, but we are going to team our brand new Floral Creation dies with our Easter collection. We're going to do a 6x6 card, but we're going to bring in a couple of the elements. When I say that we're going to bring in some of the old, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in one of the pattern papers from our Daisy collection. We're going to use some baby blue Centura Pearl. We're going to use some Kraft card. We're going to be using some white multi-purpose, and then we'll just start to team the elements together. So that's what we're going to be doing when it comes to this tutorial. So I have got my cup of tea ready to go, so I hope you're ready to go and you're settled in as well. You've got your drink, you've got your food, you've got whatever it is that you've got while you're watching this. As always, thank you so much to everyone that has already subscribed to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. To those that have also hit that bell notification, thank you very much. And to those that go that extra mile as well by giving me that thumbs up when it comes to each of the videos I post, I really do appreciate it. For those that are new, by hitting that bell notification, it just means whenever I upload any of these tutorials or any video here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, you'll get a little alert just to let you know that I've posted one and there's one ready for you to watch. Although don't worry, if you don't want to have an alert, at least when you've subscribed, when you go onto your YouTube account, you'll see that you'll have a tutorial there from me ready to go. And one of which, as we say, is all about Easter and the Floral Creation dies. So if you've not seen the Floral Creation dies as of yet, let's go to the overhead so that you can see a lot clearer here. It's our Floral Creation dies that we've got, where we've got the kit with two linen pads here. Now when it comes to both these linen pads, one summer, one is spring, and they're 3x6, so they're the perfect size to then of course start to use all of your flower dies, foliage dies and leaf dies that you get included as well. Because what you've got included is not just the dies and not just stamps, but we're even giving you one of the most handiest storage containers as well. So it's our storage containers that are compartments that I'll show you in a moment. So you've got some lovely sentiment stamps, but then what you've got is you've got the dies as well. You've then also got a little sheet, and this just gives you a little indication as to what you can make and how you can make them, that you can see there, with a few compositions as well onto the back, because you can use them singly or you can use them to create kind of like a bunch or a bouquet when it comes to the composition. So you've got that there, and then as I say, you've also got the storage container. So it's that lock-in storage container where you've got 9 compartments. So if you want to just sit onto the couch and do a lot of die cutting with your mini, with the actual linen pads and the dies, then of course you can do that. And they also section out as well, so if you are wanting to have bigger sections, then you can do that too. So that is the Floral Creation die. So I'm going to put them back in because we're not going to go to town when we use this die set. This is just going to be like a little embellishment to the card that we're going to do. But the card that we're going to do, we're going to be using the Easter collection. And the two components we're going to be using is we're going to be using the Easter egg springtime scene and Joy at Easter stamp set as well. Now when it comes to the Easter collection, you've got the other sets that you can see there. I'm not going to use them within this one. We're just going to be using these two here. And as I said, we're going to do a 6x6. I might actually, it's going to fit onto a 6x6, but I might enlarge it so that it's going to go onto a 7x7. Still have a big white border all the way round, but if you're not wanting to have a large card, then it will definitely fit onto a 6x6. So I've got my card blanks, I've got my white cardstock, I've got my baby blue Centura Pearl, I've got some Kraft, and I've got a 12x12 sheet from the Daisy collection. So that's all the main elements that I have got, and what we just need to do is get started. So let me bring in my guillotine here. So let's bring the guillotine in, and I'm going to start with my white card, and I'm going to cut that to 4x4 4. Will I do 4 by 4? Do 4.5 actually. I'm going to do 4.5 by 4.5. So once I've done that, let's bring in my craft card. So I'm going to bring in my craft card, and for my craft, what I'm not going to go up 1/4 of an inch to 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come between 4.5 and 4 3/4. So I'm going to that in between mark that we've got, so that I am left with a little thin matting layer. So if I come into just between 4.5 and 4 3/4 and cut, turn, I'm going to do the same again. So if I bring that in, we've then got a really, really thin craft matting layer. And then I'm going to bring in a sheet of baby blue. So let's come in with the baby blue. I always store mine in the bags that come in, and I'll keep all the offcuts on the back, and even keep the sheet as well. So let's take my baby blue, and this time what I'm going to do is I do want that 1/4 of an inch increment. So we're between 4.5 and 4 3/4. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up to in between 4 3/4 and 5 inches, and cut, twist, do the same again, in between 4 3/4 and 5 inches. That will then give me a 1/4 of an inch matting layer with my baby blue that you can see here. So that's going to be my main layer. And then if we bring in, as I say, this is all going to fit onto 6 by 6 card. So let's take the rest of the baby blue, and I'm going to cut this one to in between 5 3/4 and also 6. So in between 5 3/4 and 6, we're going to cut, because what I don't want is I'm not wanting a great big thick matting layer all the way around, which is usually what I like, but I just want a really, for a 6 by 6, I just want a thin matting layer that you can see all the way around. And in actual fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to come down, do what I love, Craig, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Yeah, because that's just a nice matting layer. That's better. So my blue is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let's bring in that other piece of craft card, and this one I'm going to come down to 5.5 by 5.5. So that will give me also my perfect matting layer all the way around. And then I'm going to go in with the Daisy collection of our papers. And you've got, well, I'm going for the blue sheets. You can choose any of them. But I'm going to go for that woodwork on the back. And this time, what I'm going to do, instead of coming down 1/4 of an inch to 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, I'm going to go in between. So I'm going to go in between 5 1/4 and 5.5. So get that to that halfway point, twist, and do the same again. In between 5 1/4 by 5.5. That will then give me a really thin craft matting layer. So if I bring in this one into place there, I'm left with a little border all the way around of the pattern paper. And as you can see, if you wanted to, you know, it would still work with that daisy on the back just there. But actually, I like that better. I like that better. I like the little touches of yellow coming through. So whereas I usually love the wood panelling, which I do, but I like the pattern on the other side there because you've got the bit of yellow that's coming through. So I'm going to stick with that one. So as I say, that will fit onto a 6x6, but I might add it onto 7x7. So I've got that big framework all the way around. So you've got that option. So I'm going to move, actually let's assemble. Let's assemble these layers. I'm going to assemble the layers together, but I'm not going to stick them on the card blank. So let's take my tape, or of course you can then use any of your chosen adhesive. So I'm going to go, these panels here I'm going to stick together with my tape, and then on the back of that baby blue I'm going to go for a really thin foam, because the Easter egg that we're going to cut and use, that I'm also going to lift on foam pads. So therefore I don't want it too tall in height, but on the other hand I do want a little bit of lift. So I'm going to put my white onto my Kraft, and you can emboss that if you want to with your embossing folders, stamp onto it if you want to, ink around it, but I just like that crisp clean of the white, especially when we're going to put the Easter egg over the top. And we can pop that one over the top there. So let's come in with a really thin foam from Sticks 2. So I'm just going to work my way around. So this foam that I'm using is 1mm, so it's thin. So snip that, and snip that, put that into the middle just to balance it, and then we're going to add the tape onto here. So let's add that all the way around. So once again we'll assemble these layers, but I'm not going to put them onto the card blank just yet. And in actual fact, what I'm going to do onto that blue layer, I'm also going to add a layer of foam, just 1mm once again. And as always, and I know I say this all the time and I apologise, because you know you can do what I'm away to say, and that is keep it flat if you want. You don't have to add the height of the foam if you don't want to. Maybe you don't like all that height, maybe you are posting it then and you're posting it on its own, then you don't want that extra height. Whereas with me, all my cards, any special cards that I make, I never send the card on its own. For anyone that's just watching my tutorials for around about the first time, it's like, well, what do you do then, Craig? So all my special cards I either hand deliver or I will have a gift to go with it. So therefore the gift will be in a box, so I'll put the card in the box, so I don't need to worry about the cost of height of the card because it'll already be in a box. So let's add my foam all the way around. Work our way in. Nice balance. Always remember to put some tape into the middle or foam pads into the middle to stop it sinking. And then let's get... But once again, I'm not going to stick it to my card blanks just yet. But I just want to overlay them so that you can see. how it's going to come together. I'm just going to check, so I don't think my 7x7 are quite, just over 7x7. I'm just going to trim that so it's exact, and then just make sure my 6x6, yeah, they're fine. So my card blanks that I use are also 6x2. So that will go like that, and that will go like that. So that's it onto 7x7 where you've got that framework. But if you'd much rather pop it onto a 6x6, then of course it will still sit onto a 6x6 if you want. So I'm going to move, I'm going to bring, because I am putting it onto a 7x7. So let's do my insert as I always do. I always say if I'm matting and layering my insert, I always use the darkest tone that I've used, which this one is Kraft. So if the card blank is 7x7, I'm going to cut my white to 6x6, and then let's take the Kraft 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I tend to, size dependent of the card blank, I tend to roughly come down about an inch smaller. So whatever the size of my card blank is, my insert I tend to come down by roughly an inch. So my card blank is 7x7. So I've come down to 6x6, give or take a 1/4 of an inch or so. That's just personal preference. You can make it the exact same size, of course, of your card blank. So let's take all of these off here and here and bring that into there. And now I am going to add my insert just now. So let's bring my insert in and then pop that into there. So that is our insert. I'm just going to bring in my dies, and then I'm going to take a drink. So bring the dies in. I don't think I'm going to use the bunny rabbits. I think I'm just going to leave it without. But what I do want is blue. Is that going to be big enough for just the Easter egg? Oh, look at that. Yes, it is. Nice. Like it when that happens. Let's move these bits out of the way. So that, we're going to do the Easter egg, the outline of the Easter egg in blue. We're going to use the Easter egg and the outer Easter egg, and we're going to cut that in white and Kraft. And in actual fact, what I'm going to do, is that big enough? I'm going to use a white linen cardstock. We're going to use a white linen, and then we'll also cut it in Kraft. I'm going to do my scissors there. So that's that, and that. So let's do my Easter egg. And let's take my plate. Now the Easter egg, because it's a simplistic die, I only need my frosted and then my top plate. So it's my 2 top plates, my 2 cutting plates, and also my frosted shim. I don't need the what do I not need? I don't need the magnetic shim. So let's take that out. So there's our blue Easter egg. So let's take that, flip my plates, and let's do our detailed egg. So let's use them both together. So I just want to try and make sure I've got that spacing all the way around. So this one I am going to add in my magnetic sheet. So this is my full plate configuration for die cutting. 2 cutting plates, magnetic, and then top plate, and frosted shim. Did I say that right? 2 cutting plates, magnetic, and frosted shim. That's what I meant to say, if I didn't already say that. So let's peel that and that. So we've now got a beautiful Easter egg. Pop any little bits out there. And I'm going to pop all these out. If you've got your die brush, then of course you can use your die brush. Or you can tap it against the back. I'm not going to tap against the back for now, only because I have given my floor of my craft room a really, really good hoover, and there is not a single piece of card or paper or ribbon or foam pad backing or anything on my floor. And I don't know about you, but whenever you do that at home, are you like me and you try and keep it tidy for the first wee while without getting any bits on the floor? So that's why I'm not going to tap it, and I'm just popping all the bits out. Now let's do the same with the Kraft. So let's take that down, and again, same plate configuration. So it's the full plate configuration, 2 cutting plates, frosted, magnetic. And let's take that away and that away. I'm not going to use the bunny rabbits within this. We've got that beautiful die cut, intricate die cut of all the florals. Well, not so much the florals, but the leaves and the foliage, framing that inner Easter egg. So I'm just going to spend just a little bit of time now, bear with me. I just want to make sure that I pop all these out so I don't forget. The joys of doing all of this and not editing afterwards. You get to see the whole caboodle. So that is our Easter egg. So I'm going to take all of that, and then let's bring our Easter egg. I'm going to go in with my glue here. So I'm just using my tacky glue. You can of course use whatever glue that you like. Just going to make sure. Let me just make. I'm going to have to take my little bit of flower forming wire that I should have, because I've left this sitting for a few days. Alright, I think that should be it. Yeah, there we go. I don't tend to put my pin in because I've just got my little tub there. And I know most of you know, but what I do is I just keep that damp. I just spritz water. It's a baby wipe. And then when it starts to dry out, I just spritz just a light bit of water in there. And then I just put my glue in upside down. Don't spritz too much water in there because the water will then get sucked up into the glue. If that happens, just press it over a bin until all the water content has gone. And then you're just left with glue. So just sketching over the whole bit. So for this, usually when it comes to elements like this, I don't glue down all of it. I like to have it kind of free flowing. But for this card, I do want to make sure it's going to be stuck down completely. So because that's dried out, what I'm going to do is just my water there that I use for doing all my spritzy backgrounds. And so what I also do is I usually come down to the bottom right. I'm going to go up to the top left just for a little change. And then move all these bits into place. And then any little bits just need wiggled and moved. I can do that just so that I've got a light brown drop shadow. You can see that's starting to come into play now. And then once I'm happy with that, move that, pull that, and then press that into place. That's then going to go into there. I'm going to see if I can just budge that over just a little bit. There we go. That's better. See a bit more of the brown there. Right, and then look at that, just that makes that really, really stand out, doesn't it? Makes it pop, as they say. I'm going to go over the back again with my glue, and same as before, I am going to go over all the bits. Usually it's at this point here that I don't tend to go onto glue onto all these bits, because I like to have them kind of free flowing. But I am, for this one, going to go in and just make sure that it's all stuck down, like so. And there we go, just go around the back there. Work our way up. Pop that in and add that into place. And then let's hold and press. So that's nicely adhered. And once it is, what we've got is we've got our Easter egg with the baby blue into the back, with that Centura pearl shining through, which when we come to add that to our card, we're going to come along, we're going to position that into there, you can see. But let's bring in that joy, so let's bring it in, and let's bring in pattern paper again, and we're going to stamp, and we're going to, if I can find my stamping platform, we're going to cut around. So let's get my stamping platform. In actual fact, let's see, just roughly. And I'm going to stamp onto the daisy side. My plan was always to stamp onto the daisy side and do the woodwork onto the back, but of course I've changed my mind and I've done the woodwork. I've turned it over and used the daisy side, but I'm still going to use the daisy side for my stamp. And pop it in. It doesn't matter if the stamp's not completely straight because we're going to cut it out anyway. I've not used this stamp yet, so what I'm going to do is I need to stick that back down. Let's go back to the old translucent clear ink pad. So I'm just kind of going to prime my stamp with my translucent clear, just because I've never used it before. So that's going to help just smooth it out. And then I'm going to go in with my black. Now it's Noir Black alcohol proof. Doesn't really matter because I'm not doing any colouring with it. So it could be any of your ink pads, but I just wanted to have a nice strong outline. So let's clean that off. And pop that back. Now I might use that Easter stamp. So, in case I do, or in case I want to, let's take that, and then let's bring in my word Easter. So I'm going to do it here so I've got a lot of scope to chop it to a size that I want, should I choose to use it. So press in. Once again, I've not used that Easter stamp. So ink up. Well, I say ink up. Again, it's just translucent clear. Sorry, that was really quick. That was my old one. There we go, translucent clear. It's exactly the same, it's just my old one. It's in the old packaging that I've used. So if you ever find with new stamps that you're not getting a crisp, clean outline, it's not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just any residue left sitting on them from manufacturing. So you can see now that we've got that nice, crisp, clean stamp. Move that to the side, should I choose to use it. And then let's cut. So I'm going to be careful because what I want is I want the black outline to still be showing. So I'm just going to make sure that I come just to that outline edge. So I'm just going to take my time. Don't worry if you accidentally go over it. You can always come along with your art liner and then fill in. So I'm just going to take my time. So if I go quiet while I'm cutting, then that's just the concentration. Some people go quiet when they're colouring. I'll go quiet when I'm cutting. I'm just going to go into all these bits. Work our way. And then I'm just going to come along. And we're just going to round that off. Again, just making sure I'm coming to that outer edge. So even if you find it easier doing it in sections, then do it in sections. And then there we go. So we've got our J with the black outline edge. And then for the centre, I'm just going to do a little hole. And use your Kraft knife if you want to, because obviously you want to protect your finger on the opposite side. And then we're just going to work our way around. And then this is going to be the perfect opportunity to remind you guys that both Ben and Debbie Robinson have got their YouTube channel up and running. So check out Debbie Robinson CC for hers. I'll put the link in the bio as well. As it stands at the moment, I know she's got, I think it's an exploding box tutorial up. But I know all the things that she's got planned, which is exciting. So make sure you head across there and have a look. And then obviously subscribe, but also hit the bell notification for Debbie. And then for Ben, which I know some of you might be like, well, Ben doesn't really craft. Well, he does, certainly with Daisy, but you will find a lot of his songs on his YouTube channel, Ben Mosby CC. But what you'll also find is something new as I film this tutorial. He's not that long, with the help of New York Nick and Liam. He's got episode 1 of Mosby's Makes, where in between certain shows, what he's doing is he's grabbing a product and he's making something with it. And the one that he's got up is all about the easel drawer template and dies. Now it's only like half-hour episodes, and they're not like, it's not from beginning to end. For instance, with the easel drawer, all the components are already drawn around and cut around. But it's lovely to see Ben, you know, he knows a lot about crafting, but he does do crafting with Daisy. So it's lovely to see his take, what he does, how he shows and explains it within the Mosby Make. So also within Ben's CC YouTube channel, I will tag that in the description as well. So let's finish that off. Work our way round. Neaten off, and then there we go. Happy with that. So we've then got the Y as well. So we've got, that'll really show now against the white, the J, the O, and the Y. We've got the joy. Joy to the Easter. Let's take all of that, carefully get that in the bin and not my nice, clean, hoovered floor. So we've got joy. Let me move that out the way. And I think I might. Yes, I think I might use the Easter actually. What I'm going to do, let's bring that in. So I think my plan, what I'll do is, that can go there. And then I can do joy. And I'll do Easter maybe a couple of little florals from the Floral Creations. So let's take the word Easter and so I'm just really eyeballing the top and the bottom. Yep. Same with there. And same with there. Easter, yep. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that just a little bit thinner. Using additional lines on the guillotine as a way to line up. So that's that. I'm going to set that out the way because I'm going to keep that in the same order as in. I'm going to go on to Kraft. And then I'm going to go on to Blue. I'll just use glue. But see, that's what I mean by, I'm glad that's happened. That's what I mean by, if you then add a new fresh baby wipe or you spritz water, be careful because any of the excess water can then, of course, just get sucked back up into the actual the glue. So what I'm going to do here, I would do over the bin, but I'm just doing this to show you. So what to do is just give it a light press just until the thick glue runs through, and then that's you good to go. So that little bit of water that I spritzed was clearly still just a little bit too much. So I'm glad that happened. So I'm going to go and I'm going to leave matting layer at the top just there. But what I'm going to also do, it's something I do a lot more now, is I'm not going to matting layer all the way around. I'm just going to have a matting layer top and bottom, and then I'm going to end down the side, and I'll explain that in a second. So I just need it a little bit more. So instead of having a matting layer top, bottom, left, right, what I'm just going to do is flush that off there and there. So I've just got the matting layer top and bottom. I've been doing that a lot more. I personally quite like that look. So therefore, that's why I've been doing it a lot more. Tacky glue. Again, remember all the adhesives that I'm using, you'll find our Crafter's Companion adhesives on our website, our call-out glue, our foam pads, glue gel, etc, etc. But if you are a fan of sticks to like I am, then the adhesives that I'm using you'll find on Sticks 2's website. So let's trim that a little bit more, tiny slither more. There we go. And then again I'm just going to neaten off that edge. So I've got Easter top and bottom. So let's move that. Let's bring that back in. So we're going to go Easter. I'm going to bring that there. Joy. There and there. Easter joy. Actually, I don't know if I want Easter, to be honest with you. I think I might just want joy. Yeah, I think I might just want joy. So before I commit to the stick, let's move that out the way and let's bring in our Floral Creations. Actually, do you know what I could? Actually, there's an idea. So instead of using Easter, I'm going to do joy, and then underneath I can do live life in full bloom. Oh, that would work well. Joy, friends are flowers that never fade. See, all of that would work really well. Joy, bloom where you are planted. Joy, you are blooming wonderful. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, before we do that, let's do my flowers first. And I don't want loads, I just want just a few. So I'm going to go in with that one. And maybe that one. That one. Probably. I really, really like that one. I know I used that on a previous video. Maybe the leaves. Set that out the way. Do I want... Yeah, I'm going to use the spring. So let's use... Actually... Yeah, I do want that one. So let's use yellow, because we've got some yellow in there, the yellow daisies. Right, let's use the blue. I'm not going to use the Centura Pearl blue. I'm going to use the blue from this pad here. So I can do that, and that, and maybe some yellow. I'm just going to cut and have a little play. So let's bring in my mini. You will be pleased to know that I have given myself a new folder. At last. I know you're probably all saying, yay, at last. So let's pop that into there. I'm just going to... Is that the right... There we go, that's the right way. I'm just going to line them into there, get the most out of them as possible. I think what I'll do is let's do a few, because I can always, of course, come along and just pop them in my container. Again, I just want to get the most out of my card, so I'm just switching and swatching and cutting. There's that, that, and then that. Let's bring that into here. Actually, let's move that around for the tape. That into there. Flipping and rotating our folder. Let's put our little pile of them all there. And I'm just going to cut the full sheet here so that I don't have tiny little offcuts sitting in my pad, which I might lose. Oops. And that's a great thing with having the little storage container. It means, if you're like me, if you don't use a full bit and you put them back into the little pad, then what can happen is you'll lose them, or it'll just fall out. So therefore, having the storage box just means that's not going to happen. So I'm going to put that there now. I'm not going to get the smallest one cut, but at least I'll get 2 of them. And then is that going to fit? Just and no more. So there we go. So you could be doing that while sitting on the couch with your lap tray. There we go. So then, what did I say? Yellow, didn't I? Where are the dies? Because I know I said the stamen, if I can pick it up, but it'll be a little bit big for some of the smaller ones. So we've got the little circles there. Yeah, let's do the little circles. There. And I don't know if I actually will use that, but I will use the leaves. Because there's green within the pattern paper that I used within the card there, so we'll do that, we'll do that. I'm just going to make it easier and just cut and press, and then I'm going to go in with the summer, and then do I want the darker green or the lighter? Let's do the lighter green, and then let's do our leaves as well. Just going to cut that. Let's put that leaf or that flower back, and then let's run these through. Make sure that they're all in, which they are now. So we've got 1 dot, 2 dots. These circles are going to be brilliant for little embellishments. You know how when I've said in the past, you know, certainly for guys' cards or that, maybe the guy, you want embellishment for the card, but maybe your uncle or your dad or your granddad, or even some women, don't always appreciate gems or pearls, but you want to put something in the corner, then tiny little die cut dots are always going to be great for that. I'm going to bring that in because I can, that little bit of waste there, if I do that better, I can probably cut one leaf out of the waste. So there's a small, there's that, and then so I should only need about 6 dots because I'll use the medium, I'll use the large, medium, and then the small. I'm just going to chop that off and that can go back. I'm just going to put that there just now, and then so a large leaf will fit onto that waist, and then the small leaf will probably fit onto that one. So there's that, take that, and then so it's all about positioning on your cardstock to stop any waste. If you don't need them, you just put them in the storage box. So there's that. Let's bring that back in and put them all there so I don't lose them. I've still got all of these additional dies that I could be using. Might come back and use some. I'll wait and see. So let's take, now how am I going to shape them? Am I going to do what I like to do, and that's bend them, or am I going to do a little bit of shaping? Let's bring in a little mat that I've got here, and then let's also bring in a little ball tool that I've got. So I'm going to, let's turn that over upside down. So I've turned it upside down, and then I'm just going to use small ball tool and then circular motions around that outer edge of the petal. So we're going to work our way round. Round, and then I'm going to flip that over and then circular motions into the middle. Just going to give us that bit of shape. So if I do that, and then, well, this one, these ones maybe. So I don't want, actually I don't want the largest one, I want the medium one. Now for that one, what I might do is do what I like to do, and that is do that and set that into there. Maybe a small one as well. Let's pop that in, that in, and that in. So let's do a little bit of glue. And that one we're going to press into there. Another little bit of glue. I'm going to dab my pokey tool in to see if I can pick it up. No, but I can't. So let's just move that in. And then I'm just going to offset that into the middle and press. And then we've got that little floral there. And then this one, I'm thinking probably maybe one there and one there. Yeah. So let's do a little dot. I'm going to come in with the largest. Oh, actually no. I'm going to come in with the medium. I'm not going to, actually will I shape? Yes, I will. I wasn't going to shape it, and then I am going to shape it. So I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to shape. Now for that to grab, I'm just going to put a little mound of glue. I'm going to put my pokey tool in. And then there we go. So that's now picking up the centre. You can see. So that will then go into there. I'm wondering though, yeah, I think it really needs another one. So work our way round. Okay, I'm not doing the whole of the back of the petal, I'm just going round the edge of the petal. All the way round, flip it over, and circle motions. Now the only thing I'm going to have to watch for is, of course, I can't press in because I've already assembled that. So let's just add that in. I'm going to offset, and then I'm just going to put my pokey tool underneath. So hopefully that can then grab. Oh. I'm going to do it so it can grab. Hopefully long enough. Yeah, that's fine. So that can continue to dry there. So let's take another 2 and do the same. So work our way round the outer edge. Round that outer edge. Like so. Just like that. Twist it over. Circular motions. Right, let's assemble those 2. One there. And press. So let's press that in and let that grab. Let's set that out of the way for now. Let's take another medium and another small, turn them over. So if I turn them over just here, no, I don't need to turn them over, I just need to do that face on. So on the right side, let's actually bring that down here. Twist like that. And then twist, 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 and then twist. And then while I'm here, let's take again that medium little yellow circle and work our way round. Can then go in with our glue here and do a little bit of glue into the middle. Pop that in, so just press that in just here and hold. I'm going to then go in a little bit of glue there and pop that in, offset that, let that catch and press. And then nice circle of glue. Let's, oh, there we go. Dab that in, pick that up, like so. And then we've got our 2 flowers there. So set that out there for now. I'm going to move that out the way and move all that out the way. So let's start to assemble this. So let's take the backing off of my foam. If you're keeping it flat, then of course you just need to go in with your tape runner or your wet glue. With this being uncoated, you could use your all-purpose. So I'm going to make sure, let's zoom out there, Craig, because you can see it better. Top fold, tent fold. Press that in. Let's take our next one and do the same. Let's just layer this one up. If I thought, oh, and that could have been a nice piece of vellum, maybe the vellum from the Daisy collection, that would have been nice. Let's go in with our Easter egg. Our Easter egg I am going to lift, but once again I'm only going to do this on 1mm foam because that's another layer of height. So just being cautious of how much there is. But essentially that's really only, that's because it's 1 mil in total, that's really only 3 mil of height when it comes to foam pads, which 9 times out of 10 the foam pads we tend to use are around about 3 mil anyway. So I know you've got thickness when it comes to the mats and layers, but just to put it in perspective, it's not overly thick in comparison. So let's add that into the centre. And then let's take some, let's take just my good old trusted OG 5mm by 5mm foam pads. So I'm going to come along and I'm going to pop just my trusted 5mm. Actually, I've got as well, let's take our foam pad strips. So that's even thinner, so for that thinner bit, and they're the same thickness, so it doesn't matter. Let's also do another one for down into there. So there's our joy. And then let's do, or that's our J for our joy. Let's bring in, missed my foam pad. Work my way in. I'm going to do the same just for the top and the bottom. To bring that. And then I'll do a few in there. And then I'll come along with the foam pad strips once again. And let's do that there. Let's do that one there. Let's do that one here. And then last but by no means least, let's do that one there. So we're now all layered up. So let's bring that back in. Let's bring the J, the O, and the Y. So let's get that into position. So get that where we want. Just make sure we're relatively straight. There, there. And then I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the O. So I'll take these off. That's that, that and that. So I'll line that up just to where we want it. And then anything where it's like an odd number and central, I'll always start with that middle one first. Nice way to kind of gauge and space out. Again, so at the side of the J, I'm going to come as close to the egg as possible. And I'm going to do the same with the edge of the Y. So I'm going to take these off, that off, and that one. And then, actually, can I just move that in? There we go, that's better. Let's just budge that in. So we've got the joy, like so. And if we bring in our flowers, I'm not going to add that sentiment down the bottom. I'm going to leave that there and then there, like so, because then I'm going to add a couple of little florals. So let's bring in my glue gel and my silicone. Let's add that there. Let's add that there, there, and then there. And then I think what we'll do is let's do that there and that there. So let's do a medium and a small there and there, and then a medium and a small there and there. Yep. That's the plan. So let's bring back in my mat here. And I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to go in there, there, there and there. So let's add that in. Move that in. Bring in our medium one. There's that. Pressing into the middle. So I'm only doing a loose one. I'm not going to kind of build them up like I've done with the nut one. Just going to leave that there. Let's take them and do the same. Press, 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 press. Let's bring in that one. Press, press, like so. Let's come along and do dot and dot. I'm going to press that one in. And then going in with a small one and press that one in there. Now I've got two small dots of yellow left, so dot dot. So let's pick that up. So I'm not going to shape the little dots here, I'm going to leave them flat. I've got two of the large ones, but that for me that's just going to be a little bit too big for that's medium one. So let's bring back in the dots. Let's bring them back in. Bring back in the yellow. So I need another couple of just the small ones. Of course you could, if you want to, add the large yellow dots, but I don't. I'm just wanting a couple of the small ones. Press that. One more. Let's pop that there. Remove that. We've got our dots. 1, 2, 3. Set them all out. Yep. So let's put that there. So I need the 2 small ones. Let's move them out there because I can put them away into my box just later. So let's do dot and dot. Bring in Poke Tool, put that in, and pop that in. And then I've got these little leaves. I might just, actually, do I want to, yeah, see, I like that comment actually. There we go. I just like just the one leaf coming out. Yeah, see, I like that. I just like one leaf just coming out. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add my glue to the back. And I'm going between the 2 petals. There's that. Pop that in to there. I'm going to just kind of move that around because I still want it to kind of flow within the shape of the Easter egg. Yeah, really happy with that one. Really happy with that. Do I want anything else? Do you know what I can do? I've got 4 large dots and 2 medium ones. So let's do 1, 2, 3. So let's actually, they're too close together. So let's do a large dot. Let's do a medium dot. And then let's do a large dot. There, and there. And then let's do the same. Let's do a large dot. Medium dot. And then large dot. And then I think I don't want overkill, but I do really want that. So let's get, so there's not white linen within the pad, so I'm just using my own linen. So let's cut this. And then run that one through. Take that out. Let's take that one out. Carefully prise that out. It's intricate. And then yeah, I'm going to tuck that under. And don't worry about the flower underneath because we can still see it popping through. Let's take that one. Snip that off. And then I'm going to do the same actually. Let's bring that one because it curves in the same direction. And that one, once again, just going to tuck that under. And then there we go. we've got our joy. So with the Easter egg, we've got some height there with the foam pads, and then also the foam on the joy. Then we've got our little florals, some of the foliage components that you can see. And I've got the leaf there, we've got that little rustic part. Onto a 7x7, but it would fit onto a 6x6 if you wanted to. So you can see we've got that option if you want, but then there's that joy. We've got the joy there, then the Easter egg. So using baby blue Centura Pearl, using our Daisy collection 12x12, the Easter collection, and also our new Floral Creations. Some of the dies and the pad as well. You can see finishing off with that middle layer of white multi-purpose. There we go. So let me just bring that back in for you to see just there. We've got the joy. Bringing in the blues, bringing in the whites, bringing in the yellows, and lifting with the Kraft card. There you go. So I hope you liked that one. I hope you enjoyed that one. And if you do make it and you post it on social, then of course, feel free to give me a tag, of course. It's always lovely to see what you make off the back of these tutorials. Sometimes you make it completely different, which is absolutely fine. Still love to see what you be making. If you enjoyed this one, give me the thumbs up, of course. And then I will see you again very shortly for my next tutorial here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Where possible, I will add links to the items that I have used, and then you can always have a little click and a little peruse at your own leisure. Once again, thank you so much for your company here, and I will see you again very soon right here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. We'll see you later. Bye.